When the skies turn red, it's not just the sun setting, it's a sign of danger. Across the United States, wildfire smoke is becoming a growing threat, turning once blue skies into toxic clouds. But what causes this rising threat, and how are we all affected by it no matter where we live? From the forests of California to the concrete jungles of New York, wildfire smoke is an issue that no longer stays in the wilderness. It's spreading across the entire country, creating a new public health crisis. Wildfire smoke is more than just the byproduct of burning trees. It's a dangerous mix of gases and fine particulate matter, known as PM2.5, that can travel hundreds or even thousands of miles from its source. These tiny particles are small enough to enter our lungs and even our bloodstream, causing a wide range of health issues. Inhaling PM2.5 can trigger asthma, worsen heart disease, and even increase the risk of stroke. What's alarming is that the effects aren't limited to just areas close to the fires. The smoke can travel vast distances, impacting people far away from the actual blaze. In recent years, as wildfires have grown larger and more frequent, the spread of wildfire smoke has also expanded. States that were once unaffected by fires are now experiencing smoke-filled skies. In 2020, wildfire smoke from California was detected as far as Europe. And in 2023, New York City saw some of the worst air quality in the world due to smoke drifting in from Canadian wildfires. Cities are now being forced to deal with the choking effects of distant fires as air quality plummets, and residents are left with no choice but to stay indoors. I remember waking up one morning and the sky was an eerie orange. The smoke was so thick, I could smell it inside the house. My son, who has asthma, couldn't stop coughing and we had to rush him to the emergency room. The health impacts of wildfire smoke aren't limited to just those with pre-existing conditions. Prolonged exposure can lead to lung irritation, decreased immune function, and even long-term respiratory issues. And for children, the elderly, and those with chronic illnesses, the risk is even greater. The more we study the effects of wildfire smoke, the more we realize how dangerous it is. Prolonged exposure to fine particulate matter can lead to chronic respiratory conditions and even reduce life expectancy. Health systems across the U.S. are already feeling the strain, as hospitalizations for respiratory and cardiac issues spike during wildfire events. Wildfires don't just leave behind a charred landscape, they also leave behind a cloud of economic damage. The cost of wildfire damage, including firefighting efforts, destroyed property, and healthcare expenses, has skyrocketed. In 2020 alone, wildfires in the U.S. caused over $16.5 billion in damages. And it's not just the fires themselves that cause economic disruption. As smoke fills the air, businesses are forced to close, outdoor activities are canceled, and tourism grinds to a halt. The cost of wildfire smoke extends far beyond the fire zone. Last year, we had to close our outdoor restaurant for over a week because the smoke was just too dangerous. We lost a lot of revenue and it's becoming a regular thing now every summer. The increase in wildfires is no accident. Climate change, deforestation, and urban sprawl have created the perfect conditions for fires to spark and spread. Rising temperatures are drying out forests, and longer periods of drought are making fires harder to control. With the climate getting warmer, we're seeing longer fire seasons and more intense fires. Even places that didn't historically experience wildfires are now at risk. Firefighters are battling more extreme conditions, but as fires grow larger and more frequent, the challenge becomes harder every year. While the danger of wildfire smoke is real, there are steps we can take. Communities can prepare by creating defensible spaces around homes, improving air filtration systems, and advocating for climate action. But most importantly, we can all stay informed and protect ourselves from the growing threat in our skies. When the skies turn red, it's a warning that we must act before the air we breathe becomes too dangerous to survive. Have you experienced red skies where you live? Share your story in the comments. Let's talk about how we can protect ourselves and our communities.